Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Here's a look at tonight's top stories. Concerning rise in new HIV infections in the Bahamas.
You should know the Marriage Act, and once you pass that exam, then they can appoint you a marriage officer.
Also, a local pastor calls out unlicensed clergy for officiating weddings. And all eyes on Hurricane Helene. Hear how this major storm could impact the northern Bahamas.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition start now.
Of 15,000 new HIV infections globally among youth aged 15 to 24, 27% of those were in the Caribbean, according to a new UN AIDS report that ranks the Bahamas high among that age bracket in the region. Good evening, all. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thanks so much for tuning in. Dr. Nakia Forbes breaking down the alarming report, giving a more accurate snapshot of figures in the country. Cleopatra Murphy has tonight's top story.
A new UN AIDS report has the Bahamas tied for second in the region with St. Kitts and Nevis at 35% for new infections among the 15 to 24 age group, with Barbados topping the list at 37%. Director of the National HIV AIDS and Infectious Diseases Program, Dr. Nakia Forbes, however, explains UN AIDS uses what is called the spectrum model that makes projections based on information countries provide that sometimes differ from local epidemiology.
Some of the things that it looks at to generate those statistics is things like new HIV diagnoses, the number of people on medication, deaths due to AIDS, and treatment coverage in pregnant women.
Based on Bahamian figures, Forbes says 130 people were diagnosed with HIV in 2023, with 22 new infections among that group.
The largest age group affected was the age group 30 to 39 years of age at 28%.
Okay.
And the second highest age group affected was age 40 to 49 at 21%. And then in the age group youth between the ages of 15 to 24 years, that accounted for 17%.
Forbes says 53% of those cases were males. Over 10 years, she says new diagnoses among youth decreased by 57% up to 2023, with a slight increase from 11 new cases in 2021 to 22 in 2023 among 15 to 24 age group. Overall, Forbes says trends point to a decline in new infections.
We don't know actual number of new diagnoses, but what we have is the number of persons we've tested. And how do we interpret this? It's something we have to keep an eye on, and we need to continue to keep HIV at the forefront, because each HIV infection is preventable.
In another report, Dr. Forbes will discuss HIV prevention strategies and treatment options for individuals who are HIV positive. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
Thanks, Cleo. Well, in other news from police, officers in Abaco are investigating an attempted suicide involving a 21-year-old female that took place around 6 a.m. on Guana Key on Wednesday, September 25th, 2024. Preliminary reports indicate that the victim, while at her residence, inflicted injuries to her wrist by using a sharp object. She was transported to the medical facility in Marsh Harbor, where she received medical attention. Police say she was airlifted to New Providence and then admitted to hospital for further medical care. In other news, a human rights activist weighs in on the DEU's historic discovery of a hydroponic lab in Grand Bahama during a drug raid. The activist says it's time to explore ways to empower individuals with certain skills rather than incarcerating them.
I'm not saying that he should not be penalized, but I would say it would make no use to put him in jail.
Liberation over incarceration. That is what human rights activist Joe Darville believes should be considered after DEU's discovery of a hydroponic lab in Grand Bahama. Darville asserts that individuals with the capability to create such labs should not necessarily end up behind bars.
I would advise the government and the police to scrutinize this situation, because this individual may not be on his own. So you got to find out, are these really people who maybe have gone away and studied it in abroad, and they know exactly how to do it? So maybe their expertise can be utilized in the legitimization of the growth of marijuana for medical purposes.
In May, the government tabled a compendium of bills seeking to establish a regulated medical cannabis framework for the Bahamas while ensuring strong regulatory oversight to protect public health.
This might be a great occasion for the government to learn about how this is all done so that they were able to find out exactly what type of people you go into legitimized in the legal production of this particular substance.
Additionally, Darville says the legislation could provide an opportunity for those with expertise in cannabis cultivation to transition into the legal medical market.
I mean, that individual can begin to teach the others who need to know. I mean, he did something, quote unquote, illegal, you know, but it's not the end of the world. And maybe what he was doing was going to be detrimental to a whole lot of people and maybe economically feasible to him. But utilize him with his skills now, how to do this in a proper, productive way that's going to be beneficial.
Just one station.
In this next report, a local pastor is sounding the alarm on clergymen performing wedding ceremonies who do not have the license to do so. It is a story you will see just on one station.
I'm saying you as a...
Local Bishop Reno Smith is sounding the alarm on clergymen who are performing wedding ceremonies without the proper license to do so. He says that a wedding can only be official if it is conducted by an ordained pastor who has a marriage license.
What they would do is they would get the documents to the couple 2 or 3 days later after they would have had someone else to sign off on the marriage. And so legally the people are thinking that legally they're married when in actuality they are not.
Bishop Smith further said while the Marriage Act has provisions which says that weddings can be performed by anyone, however, there's more to it. Also making clear that a justice of the peace cannot perform marriage ceremonies if they are not a licensed marriage officer.
Legal marriage officer who will be signing your documents must be present. And if you see the signature of a marriage officer who is not present, who did not perform your wedding on the certificate, you need to question that.
Smith is asking persons to cease and desist from officiating marriages when they know they have no legal grounds to do so. He is also warning those persons who are engaged to look out for a number of things.
Ask your pastor if he is a marriage officer. If you don't go to a church, or if your pastor does not go to a church, go to the Registrar General's office, ask him for a list of registered licensed marriage officers.
What is also important to note, according to the bishop, is the fact that marriage officers are appointed for various districts and that you cannot perform weddings outside of your district.
If you're a marriage officer in Abaco, you're appointed for the district of Abaco, you cannot perform legal weddings outside of Abaco.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson-Everest.
Thanks, Yolanda. Now, besides a licensed marriage officer, a magistrate at the Register of the Supreme Court and at the Supreme Court can officiate a marriage. The storm strengthened to a dangerous Category 3 on Thursday and is expected to impact Florida's Big Bend area and then Georgia. Helene is forecast to crash ashore Thursday evening with catastrophic and deadly storm surges that could be as high as 20 feet in some areas, as well as strong, damaging winds. The Hurricane Center said. So just how will this storm impact the northern Bahamas? Our Matthew Martinborough has the latest.
Following the effects of Hurricane Helene, the Bahamas Met Department urges the public to be on advisory for the heavy winds and rainfall that is expected to dwindle down by Friday.
We will start to see an improvement in our sky conditions. However, the winds are going to stay on the breezy side because the storm will still be interacting with a ridge of high pressure that is to the east of us. So between the storm to the west and the high pressure ridge to the east, they'll keep our wind pressure gradient tight, which will keep the breezy conditions for us into Friday night.
Senior Met Officer Trinard Tyne says do not be fooled by the waves of sun that we may experience as the weather continues to change rapidly due to storm wind speeds.
Right now, as it's making its way across, we are going to feel the effects of the outer bands of Helene right now. So that's why you'll have this sunshine peeking out and getting cloudy and heavy downpours and stuff like that, lightning, thunderstorm activity, and then clear right back up again. So we're going to have basically up and down situation with rainfall and sunshine throughout the course of the day because of the outer bands of the system.
Tynes also cautions against any boating or beach activities, with the choppy seas being a major factor.
Give it until probably into the weekend before we start heading out and doing boating activity. For beach goers, places, swimmers and stuff like that, we advise them to stay out of the water because when you have situations, there's a high risk of rip currents.
The Bahamas Met Department advises the public that although warnings are sent out urgently on a regular basis, they are not 100% definite, but are strong possibilities which must be monitored closely. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Matthew Martinborough.
And still to come.
When we come back, a grand celebration in honor of the late minister Obie Wilchcombe. That story, sports, and more in the Bahamas Tonight. The Northern Edition continues.
There are some things that are undeniably Bahamian. A good count salad, junkanoo, the way we worship, the way we take care of one another, all undeniably Bahamian. And right in the midst of our iconic things, places, and people is Commonwealth Bank. Increasing access, sponsoring dreams, working alongside Bahamians to increase the quality of their lives for more than 60 years. Commonwealth Bank, nothing more than being Bahamian. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Come on down and see what Dolly Madison has in store for you. Renovate and rejuvenate at Dolly Madison.
Don't miss the Park and Shop sale. Enjoy 25% off store-wide, excluding underwear and red tag items on September 26th, 27th, 28th, and 30th. Plus, check out their 50% off racks with items as low as $10. Store hours are 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday. Calling all vendors. The 2025 Grand Bahama Junkanoo Parade vendor applications are now available. Collect your application from the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture on Region Center East, West Explorers Way. The deadline is October 18th. For more information, call 351-6667.
This me, Sweet Emily. Join me as we celebrate Sunday, October the 13th, 2024 at Sunset Village, Fish Fry, 8 Mile Rock. As we celebrate KB and friends, we celebrate the music, the legacy of KB. Get your tickets and meet me there.
Here are some tips for having your home ready for a hurricane. Keep all trees and shrubs trimmed. Bring in all outdoor furniture, plants, or any other items that may become airborne due to high winds. Cover windows and doors with hurricane shutters or pre-cut plywood. Clear drains and gutters. And remember to secure important documentation in case you have to evacuate. Don't be caught off guard this hurricane season. Be prepared.
Your number one team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
Welcome back. A gospel concert was held to honor the late former cabinet minister and member of parliament for West, Grand Bahama and Bimini, Obie Wilchcombe. Residents gathering at the 8 Mile Rock Gymnasium to celebrate his life and legacy as a true champion of the West.
We do so as a people, as a team, and may the road be trod.
The life of the late Minister of Social Services, Broadcasting and Information and Member of Parliament for West Grand Bahama and Bimini recognized through the special gospel concert at the 8 Mile Rock Gymnasium. The packed room heard a number of musical performances.
Come on. Clap your hands, everybody. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2. If you came to praise him, let me see you lift your...
The Minister for Grand Bahama, Ginger Moxie, touched on the impact Wilchcombe made to the country.
Done so much for this community, has done so much to ensure that people's lives have been impacted from Western to Eastern on Grand Bahama Island.
Senator James Turner encouraging the family to continue his legacy.
God has been good to your family because they gave you a great man. When a man does what Obie Wilchcombe did for so many others, he ought to be celebrated. I don't come here sad. I don't come here in no strange state. I come here to celebrate a good man.
The current Member of Parliament for West Grand Bahama and Bimini, Kingsley Smith, describing Wilchcombe as a mighty man of valor.
He was a friend and a warrior leader, a great example of leadership, in fact. So tonight, we celebrate who he was, someone who epitomized leadership, someone whose life reflected a heart of service and commitment to faith, family, friends, and his country.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson, Everest.
May his soul continue to rest in peace. Well, it's news no man wants to hear, and one that rocked Don Mitchell's world until he decided to take action. 16 years after being diagnosed with prostate cancer, he's not only a survivor, but he is thriving and wants men to know it does not have to be a death sentence. Cleopatra Murphy has his story.
I drove very long drive home. I took the longest route. And I remember that I cried.
Prostate cancer survivor Don Mitchell describes feeling an emotional gut punch when he was diagnosed with the disease at the age of 66. The diagnosis came during his annual prostate exam while living in Bermuda, and being very health conscious, he never saw it coming.
I went to the gym sometimes 7 days a week. I tell people I was eating tree branches. I was eating so healthy. I was so exercising so much. I did not think I could ever get any kind of disease. And here I am with prostate cancer. So where I didn't expect it, it shocked me completely.
Mitchell soon regrouped and began looking into treatments for the stage 1 diagnosis, ultimately getting a robotic-assisted radical prostatectomy in Boston, having his prostate removed. He describes the recovery.
Of course, the first thing you have after the surgery is total 100% incontinence, urine incontinence. So I was on the pants, the big pants, not no band pad. I had like the band pants and all that, And that is the beginning of the recovery stage, though, you see. And you can recover virtually 100% from that. So, you do these things called Kegels. I don't know if you're familiar with them. Wow, you are very informed. And so even this morning, I did Kegels.
Now at 77, the prostate cancer survivor continues to preach early detection and has this advice for men.
Take charge of your health. It is your life. You have a responsibility to yourself, to your family, to your God.
Pastor Grand Bahama chapter, along with its partners, will host a health fair and symposium at the Christ the King Anglican Church Hall on Friday, September 27th. Dr. Robin Roberts will give a presentation, while prostate cancer survivors will share their own personal testimonials. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
And that's a look at stories making news. Jay, I pray the Jaguars are doing much better.
Remember, I went to some volleyball games yesterday and today, and I must say, some really, really talented players at the high school level.
All right, we'll see what's coming up next. But first, a check on weather.
Tonight's weather forecast is brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
Cause it's so beautiful.
Huh?
See news in the making? Call us at 352-9713 or 359-5167, or you can email us at zns3news@gmail.com.
The Forever Flower Shop. Check out our new selection of artificial flowers and wreaths. Choose stems for your own projects or get a pre-made arrangement as a quick fix to a dull space. If you're a soon-to-be bride, inquire about bulk ordering for floral options that won't break the bank. It's all here at Island Bedding and Furniture, located at number 5 Queens Highway, across from Caribbean Veterinary.
Sometimes you want pizza vibe without the whole dang pie. Now, there's a new way to get the bold flavors of pizza whenever and wherever you want. You just got to try Pizza Hut's new melt in buffalo chicken, meat lovers, pepperoni lovers, and chicken bacon wrap for just $6.99 with that. Pizza Hut's new melts are cheesy, crispy, and loaded. Call us at 352-9191 to satisfy your pizza vibe cravings.
Journey to a serene oasis. Relax. Rejuvenate. Renew. Welcome to Renew Day Spa. For appointments, call 352-RENU.
Calling all judges, the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, in conjunction with the Great Bahama Jokanoo Corporation, invites you to judge the 2025 Great Bahama Jokanoo Parade Pine Yard Rush. Are you a judge? We're calling you. Are you interested in being a judge? We are calling you. Applications are now available at the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, Region Center East, West Explorers Way. Or you can just sign up online via our QR code provided. But the deadline is October 7, 2024 for all applications to be submitted via in-office or online. The parade is speedily approaching, so let's get there and let's get it done. Sign up today and become a judge. It's a Pine Yard Rush. Oh, yeah. Get ready to rumble. It's a Pine Yard Rush. Oh, yeah.
Freeport, get ready to witness the talent explosion of the year. It's Freeport's Got Talent. 3 epic nights, September 27th through the 29th at Port Lakaya Marketplace, starting at 7 p.m. Bring the entire family and come see the best of Freeport's rising stars, who will walk away with a grand prize. This is a competition you don't want to miss. Admission is free. Brought to you by Grand Bahama Port Authority.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Vontae, representative for the Provision Band Boys right now.
This is Jason, JMC Entertainment Providenciales.
It's your boy, Super PV Entertainer, all the way from the Turks and Caicos Islands.
Asking you guys to join me on the 13th of October
at Sunset Village.
It's 8 Mile Rock.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're celebrating the life, the legacy, the music
of KB. Get your tickets and beat us there.
It's going to be a great time. Join me there.
Don't meet me there. Beat me there. Let's go. Ladies and gents, I'm Jay Philippe, and welcome to Sports First in Sports, Day 2 of the Ivan Butler High School Volleyball Tournament in the swing of things at St. George's Gym. On the girls' side, the Tabernacle Falcons took down the home team St. George's in 2 straight sets.
My girls did their best. No one was bad today. Everyone was really good. Me, who just came off an injury not too long ago, still recovering, but for me, myself, I felt like I could have did better, but I have a next game, and I'm able to prove that. But at the end of the day, what I always do, I put God first in everything.
In the second girls' game, 8 Mile Rock Blue Jays defeated Jack Haywood in 2 straight sets, 19-13, and again, 19-13.
I think they had a better game yesterday, but nonetheless, they still played their part, and they did well. I spoke to the girls about, their footwork and, proper bunk, just the usual techniques that we would have learned, during the preparation coming towards the tournament.
I feel as if we could have played better, and we played according to how the team that we played had played.
Following those two games, Tabernacle came back to beat BMAS in 3 sets. They lost the first one 18-20, but came back to win the next 2 sets 24-22 and 15-6. Now on the boys' side, St. George's defeated Tabernacle in 2 straight sets, 19-9 and 19-7. And St. George's came back in a doubleheader to take down BMAS after dropping the first set 16-19. They would come back to win the next 2 sets, 20-18 and 15-9. Action will continue this week with the championships wrapping up on Saturday. And last in sports, the Bahamas national archery team earned a total of 15 medals at the Caribbean Development Championships, most recently in Jamaica. Team Bahamas came back with 4 gold, 7 silver, and 4 bronze medals. Ladies and gents, that is your Thursday check on sports. I'm Jay Philippe. Your Facebook friend is up next. Be blessed.
I'm Derek Stubbs.
And I'm Cindy Russell. ZNS 810 AM presents
Grand Bahama. Get ready for the event of the year. Experience a live recording of one of the Bahamas' leading gospel ensembles, Ship Back, on stage with some of gospel's greats, along with the Grand Bahama gospel community. Sunday, National Heroes Day weekend, October 13th, 7 p.m., Jubilee Cathedral, East Settlers Way. It's a free event. Don't miss an experience of a lifetime.
But it doesn't stop there. You can be a part of the largest music workshop and coming together the island's best in creative arts. Register today by scanning here or get an application from your local church. The Grand Bahama Music Workshop begins Wednesday, October 9th at 7 p.m. nightly through Friday the 11th. Sessions for choir members, praise teams, dancers, musicians, sound technicians, and media operators. The nightly sessions followed by a mass choir rehearsal to record special songs at Shabak's live recording.
With BGC's crystal clear mobile service, stay connected seamlessly, whether on land or at sea. Our reliable postpaid plans keep your loved ones closer, no matter where life takes you.
Get a jump on your health and fitness goals with the Fitness Connections Transformation Challenge. We've already helped hundreds of people get closer to their health and fitness goals and achieve awesome results like you see here. You can scan the QR code to find out more. But let me tell you what all comes with the challenge. One, you get 20% off coupons to the Fitness Connection every 2 weeks. You get coaching calls with us on Zoom. You get accountability, us checking in on you. And you also get the chance to win $1,000 and other prizes if you are the winner. So what do you have to lose? $50, you can have a chance to win $1,000 and get the body of your dreams. So scan the code now, sign up. We're here to help you.
Your #1 team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. On behalf of the entire news team here in the North, I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to stay tuned. The Bahamas Tonight is coming your way next.
Clint Watson has been the trusted voice of journalism for over 2 decades. He is your first choice for hard-hitting discussions, your best choice for current affairs issues and investigative journalism. It's time to start the journey of relentless journalism. It's time to start the journey of facts over fiction. It's time for the Rundown with Clint Watson here on ZNS, where only the sun covers the Bahamas better. Covering the news seems easy, but we put thought into what we're doing. The Bahamas Tonight Access Now, here to inform, educate, and entertain. A new type of newscast featuring social media trends, news from around the islands, interviews with the people you like, sports, weather, and fabulous entertainment. That's a Bahamas Tonight Access Now with Marcellus Hall and LaDon Davis. Live, starting September 16th.
I'll be coming for y'all again.
Are you ready for the hottest sports show on the market? It's called The Timeout. Sundays on the ZNet Television Network. In our first show, 4 decades of sports in the country.
At the House of Assembly, I'm Makush Lapinder. This is ZNS.
Are you ready for the hottest sports show on the market? It's called The Timeout. Sundays on the ZNet Television Network. In our first show, 4 decades of sports in the country.
Clint Watson has been the trusted voice of journalism for over 2 decades. He is your first choice for hard-hitting discussions, your best choice for current affairs issues and investigative journalism. It's time to start the journey of relentless journalism. It's time to start the journey of facts over fiction. It's time for the Rundown with Clint Watson here on ZNS, where only the sun covers the Bahamas better. Beginning Monday, September 16th, it's the new lineup of ZNS News and Current Affairs, 6 p.m. It's What's Trending, Lifestyles in the Afternoon with Stacey Campbell Marshall, 6:30. We head to the north for the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition, 7 p.m. It's the Bahamas Tonight National Report, followed by the Bahamas Tonight Access, now at 7:30. Then at 8 p.m., your nightly news analysis show, The Rundown with Clint Watson, and 11 p.m., the Bahamas Tonight at 11 with Royston Jones. It's a full lineup of the new ZNS, and it starts Monday, September 16th. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
From June 1st to November 30th, the ZNS Radio and Television Network is the #1 source in the Bahamas for hurricane information before, during, and after a storm. Now is the time to choose your radio and television hurricane season ad packages. Get extra special rates and run the ads only when you want them to run. Call the ZNS sales office today at 502-3800.
ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, overall crime is down, but it's what's needed to continue that trend that has the National Security Minister speaking out. Tune in to hear his no-nonsense appeal. Also, is there room to survive in an oversaturated business market? A leading voice in the business community has his say on what role larger organizations should play. And the Prime Minister calls it a win-win for the government and gas dealers. But tonight, hear from an industry spokesman on the losing end of the pending gas and diesel hike. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report starts now. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight. The global arena gets an earful from the government's lead attorney. Taking aim at the heavyweights, Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs, Senator the Honorable Ryan Pinder, today sought to make as strong a case as any for a change in how international tax rules are developed and enforced on countries like the Bahamas. Addressing the STEP conference in Buenos Aires, Argentina, the AG argued that the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, or OECD, policies and approach to enforcement frequently favored the wealthier, developed economies, which really reflect their membership. For instance, developing economies are not afforded a vote when consequential rules are adopted, a process the AG lambasted as flawed, inequitable, and unfair, adding that the OECD has consistently ignored the consequences of its own agenda for non-members who are excluded from critical phases of policy design. Instead came the call for the Bahamas to be treated fairly. Now, instead came the call for the Bahamas to be treated fairly. For its part, the AG vowed that the Bahamas will continue being active in further negotiations to ensure its national interest is reflected in the global tax infrastructure. Well, in other news, with every car theft, every armed robbery, every shooting, and every homicide comes the public cry that crime is too high. But though National Security Minister, the Honorable Wayne Munro, says he's seen far too many photos of murders in police briefings, behind the weapons, young men seeking to obliterate one another. According to Munro, on one scene alone, 80 rounds of ammunition were fired to kill just one man.
Unless and until, as a country, we realize and accept what we've been saying, the solution to crime is an all of government effort, all of society effort. And so whenever you try to isolate any part of it is when you have the problem. So when you say, what is the church doing? You're trying to say that let's blame them. And what is this one? Chief Justice Hall had a simple saying. You either can find time to fix the blame, or you can take the time to fix the problem.
Now, Munro's comments come in the face of a 13% increase in murders, a 19%, 26%, and 13% decrease in attempted murders, armed robberies, and offenses against a person, respectively. Overall, crime, though, is said to be down by 6%. Still, the minister accepts that that's still too high.
Year journey to becoming a murderer. The 16-year journey to becoming a murderer involves all of us. It involves us when we see a mother struggling and do nothing about it. It involves us when we don't become involved in all of these church programs or other civic programs. So it really behooves all of us, Madam Speaker, to become a part of the solution. So if one wants to know how you get the numbers down of murders, you get the numbers down by decreasing the number of murderers. It's just very simple.
Meantime, human trafficking rakes in an average of $27 billion annually, affecting millions around the world, which lends to it requiring urgent attention. Addressing the issue during a workshop last evening, National Security Minister, the Honorable Wayne Munro, noted that behind such exploitation, poverty, a lack of education, and mainly countries in conflict. That spillover, however, has now made it to the shores of the Bahamas.
The demands that drive it are for cheap labor and for the sex industry in the strip clubs and prostitution. As I speak, you well know that these things happen in this country. And so there is no point of us seeking to hide our heads in the sand and say that this is happening somewhere else. You would be fairly certain that with all of the indicators that it is surely happening here, and in ASP Bell can tell you, they have found even young Bahamian girls who were trafficked for sexual exploitation by family members.
The minister adding that all the legislation in the world, coupled with resources, will not break the back of this scourge. And the reason, he says, is quite clear.
For instance, sex workers, it's usually in apartments, in neighborhoods, sometimes very respectable neighborhoods. When people are exploiting people for their labor, you asking one or two questions may get to find out that it's obvious that that is what is happening, even to somebody working for you.
A middle-aged man, the country's latest traffic fatality victim after succumbing to injuries sustained on Wednesday. According to police, the 55-year-old man was walking in the area of Madeira and Montgomery Streets around 3:15 a.m. Wednesday when he was struck. He died only a few hours later in hospital. The matter is under active investigations. Meantime, a fight of another kind for Bahamians living in Florida in the Big Bend area, as well as those in Georgia who are bracing themselves for Hurricane Helene. The Cat 3 dangerous, fast-moving storms expected to make landfall in Florida tonight and in Georgia late Friday evening. Local and international meteorologists are encouraging residents to prepare for high winds, potentially catastrophic flooding, and widespread power outages. We reached out to consulate generals in the Florida and Georgia area, Kurt Hollingsworth and Anthony Moss, to find out their plans to possibly assist Bahamians.
Following and tracking the present storm over the last few days, we're anticipating that there'll be hurricane force winds in the south of Georgia, and hopefully by the time it gets into northern Georgia, it will be a tropical storm as predicted. We have advised our diaspora to take every precaution and to be safe. We will continue to monitor the storm. It is anticipated that by mid-afternoon, late evening tomorrow, it should be out of Georgia and all the way into Tennessee as a tropical depression.
The line has been very quiet. We haven't had anyone reach out to us at the moment as far as Hurricane Helene is concerned. We anticipate that there might be some students reaching out to us from North Florida once the hurricane passes by.
Well, nearing Category 4 status, Helene has led to the closure of several airports, canceling hundreds of flights. Coming up, there is a citizens advisory tonight. We'll tell you more when we return. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report.
In the chaos of our daily lives, it's easy to be caught up in the rush. But when you're behind the wheel, remember, rushing can lead to disaster. Don't rush. Take your time. Remember, your life and others depends on it. Slow down. Stay alert and arrive alive. Because in the race of life, it's not about how fast you get there, but how safely.
This message is brought to you by Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Experience the difference with BTC's fixed services. Whether you're working from home or enjoying family time, BTC ensures you're always in touch with the people and moments that count. BTC isn't just a service, it's a lifestyle. Stay connected, stay inspired, and live your best life. BTC.
KFC is giving you more to love with our KFC Bucket Meals with large sides.
Get the KFC Family Bucket featuring 8 pieces of juicy chicken, family fries, and 4 biscuits that feeds 4. A KFC Deluxe Bucket with 10 pieces of delicious chicken, 2 larger sides, and 4 biscuits that feeds 4 to 6. Or a KFC Party Bucket with 15 pieces of our chicken, 3 larger sides, and 6 biscuits that feeds 6. And we'll handle the dishes, plates, and utensils included, so you can lick your fingers in peace. KFC knows value, and it's finger-licking good.
From paradise to paradise, Bahamas Air invites you to embark on a seamless island journey from the sun-kissed coast of Nassau, the Bahamas, to the rhythmic shores of Montego Bay, Jamaica. Soar high above a turquoise tapestry on the most trusted airline in the Caribbean. Our inaugural flight takes wing on November 17th, 2024. Don't delay. Book your idyllic escape today.
you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies.
You're looking at a shot of a pond at Albany in southwestern New Providence. Welcome back. The Citizens Advisory Committee holding a meeting tonight to tell us what it's all about. We go live to our Desmond Saunders. Desmond?
Pleasant good evening, McCuskler, and a pleasant good evening, Bahamas. Desmond Saunders coming to you live from the police headquarters, East Street. The Bahamas Neighborhood Watch Council teaming up with the Ministry of Security, National Security, to combat human trafficking. Human trafficking, according to Oxford Dictionary, is the unlawful act of transporting or coercing people in order to benefit from their work or service, typically in the form of forced labor or sexual exploitation. This is a global phenomenon and a scourge that has developed in our nation. And I have joining me on the broadcast this evening Mr. Kino Wong, who is the chairman of the Bahamas Neighborhood Watch Council, putting on this two-day workshop to inform and educate community residents about human trafficking and its causes and its impact. Pleasant good evening, sir. Tell me about the inspiration behind putting this workshop together and the impact that you hope to make at the end of the day.
Well, it's been in the making for 2 years, where the National Neighborhood Watch Council have been seeing individuals in our communities that are not naturally should be there. And we've been seeing with our eyes and understanding that it could be a form of human trafficking. And there's a difference between human trafficking and human smuggling. And so we, the council, with the Ministry of National Security, planned this two-day symposium last night and now tonight. And so we have not just here in New Providence, but we have over 50 individuals online who are tuning in from the islands of the Bahamas. And so we are happy about that as well. And so this whole idea of coming together is to bring the awareness to our community leaders to continue to observe and continue to understand that this crime that is being committed, not just here in the Bahamas, but worldwide, is a serious issue. And so if you are not informed, then you don't have the tools to work with to be able to combat this crime on human trafficking.
What appeal would you like to make to those community residents listening to this broadcast at this time?
Get involved in your neighborhood. Become your neighbor keeper. Be vigilant. Observe and report what you see. Be the eyes and ears of your communities. And so once you know this, things will be better in our communities. We'll have more safer and more better communities once we can work together to combat this issue called human trafficking.
Kino Wong, who's the president of the Bahamas Neighborhood Watch Council, and we will provide you with more details about this two-day workshop in a later newscast. For now, Desmond Saunders reporting live from the police headquarters, East Street.
Well, thanks, Desmond. Ever heard of the red ocean, blue ocean strategy? Well, in business terms, the red signifies an oversaturated business market. The blue, you guessed it, is not. But according to new president of the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce, Leo Rowe, it really does not matter which one entrepreneurs dive into.
We realize that there are a number of challenges with owning a business and having persons that you are that rely on that business for goods and services. What the Chamber Institute does is it provides a measure of support for businesses who are otherwise unable to have a training department or to supplement their training department. And so, for instance, we have a professional selling course in sales and one in customer service. The beauty of that customer service course is that it teaches the employees of these businesses how to make sure that the customer service that they provide is top tier, but we go a step further.
And to the larger organizations, Rowe opines that they too have a role to play.
Not doing their proper grounding or their research before they go into business.
Yeah.
So I understand that my friend or I see a business that's going well and I realize that they're pricing their goods and services at, let's say, $50. And so I go into that market because I think this is the new in thing without doing proper research and understanding that there's a reason that that person was able to charge $50. Perhaps they're bringing in bulk, perhaps they're partnering with someone. When I go into that business and I charge $50, I'm operating at a loss. And so understanding, first of all, the need in the market, because you may be going into a market where there's really and truly not an appetite for your product or service, and then you want to hit the wall when you realize that no one is purchasing your goods and services.
Well, in just a matter of days, the local price of gas and diesel will jump. But there's one group of drivers who's condemning the government's decision as a bad move. Danielle Dean has the story.
Data has shown that September and October are typically slow months for the local tourism industry, and by extension, taxi drivers, whose recent increase must now be fueled into the pending hike at the pumps. And as you can imagine, re-elected president of the taxi cab union, Wesley Ferguson, isn't the least bit happy about it.
You know, we just got an increase in taxi fares after some 7-8 years. And to now be hit with exorbitant gas prices, that kind of slide the rug out from underneath us. But we hope to revamp and regroup and get some new ideas going and see how we could survive in these hard economical times. But we're going to engage the petroleum companies in a minute to see if we could get a reduction in gas prices for taxi drivers.
And Ferguson is optimistic this can happen, as it has before in the early 2000s. The union, he says, has even reached out to an electric car company. And here's the thinking behind that.
To try to get them to import electrical cars that are suitable for taxis. Because, you know, the taxi industry now is moving towards larger vehicles, 13, 14 seaters. And so far, there's a lot of electrical vehicles on the streets of Nassau. Even I see the government have a whole lot of them, but they're not adaptable for the use of taxi at this time. So we would have to re-engage them, because we engaged them about 2 years ago, and they had a very aggressive plan. I think it was supposed to be by 2030. They anticipated that we would have been about 80% electrical cars on the street, but that has not yet been realized. It seems as if they're not moving in that direction fast enough for us. So we'll have to re-engage them to see if we can get that process going.
The fuel increase is expected to take place Tuesday, October 1st. Reporting for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Danielle Dean.
Stay with us on The Beat is after the break.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Folk Call Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
A decade ago, the Bahamas Striping Group of companies was birthed out of a passion to change the way we travel. From only a $5,000 grant, the tenacity and work ethic has propelled BSGC to one of the leading road management companies in the Caribbean. We pride ourselves on going the extra mile where others won't, through the use of our state-of-the-art equipment and our certified team. Although the success is commendable, the road has been long. Yet, the mission continues in striving to be a world-class organization ran by Bahamians for Bahamians. With the help of our experienced and hardworking team, we at the Bahamas Striping Group of companies are committed to making a difference, one road at a time.
SS Electrical has relocated. You can now find them on Chesapeake Road in the former Minute Muffler building. There, you can pick up Square D switches, combos, breakers, and breaker panels, plus all the electrical wires you need. Want meter cans, LED bulbs, and ceiling fans? You can find it all at SHSS Electrical.
Need a DNA test to find out if someone is your father, your child, or your grandparent? Call DNA Direct at 324-0665. Get a DNA test for as low as $450. Now you can prove that you are or are not related to an individual easily. Call DNA Direct 324-0665.
Don't let your home or business be in the dark. When there's a blackout, it's time to purchase the new EcoFlow portable generator. This powerful device gives you hours of uninterrupted electricity for your fans, refrigerator, television, and air conditioning units. Dial 327-4504 and see how affordable your EcoFlow portable generator is.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station. Open the app, scan the pump's QR code, select your payment amount, and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
The Bahamas has always boasted of pristine waters, and today the world paused to celebrate that natural resource and everything in it. Our Danielle Dean today visited the LJM Maritime Academy to speak with future mariners.
With World Maritime Day being acknowledged the last Thursday of every September, we took a ferry down to LJM Maritime Academy to find out how students there are navigating their future.
What got me started in this field is my passion for becoming a marine pilot. You know, the Bahamas is surrounded by water. We have one of the largest cruise ship registries, one of the largest ship registries in the world. So a marine pilot is something that is a big aspiration of mine.
That was second-year deck cadet Devon Turner, who summed up his preparation to be captain as rigorous yet rewarding. 17-year-old Angelique Ramming, engineering cadet, said she looked forward to the LJM beach cleanup, arranged especially for Maritime Day.
We get to change into overalls, go around on the shore, look at hermit crabs if we have the time. It's just the simple things like that that brought me to this program, and I'm really looking forward to it. There are many marine life that I personally treasure, and I think that should be treasured as well. And since most of the ocean is not explored, I think we should go towards that.
The Bahamas Reef Environment Educational Foundation's announcement last year reported that marine pollution is only getting worse. With careers like marine biology and fishing at risk, LaShawn Bryce hopes to see a change in the way persons approach marine life and the environment.
I feel like this day is very important for us to take care of our waters, for water pollution, keeping our ocean safe, and trade is a wonderful thing, so we have to make sure the ocean is always clear and stuff.
Well, thanks, Danielle. It's about that time for us to check in with LaDawn and Marcellus, who will give us a sneak peek of Access Now.
Because we have a prostate cancer survivor in the house with a pretty interesting story to tell. But I want to ask Marcellus one question. Do you get your prostate checked, or are you like one of those other men who don't like to do that, or are they afraid to do so?
I don't necessarily know. I won't say it's afraid, but I have done the prostate exam, and I think it's very important. The last thing you want to do is get some bad news, so definitely stay on top of that.
All right.
Well, some good advice there, Marcellus.
Yes.
Stay with us. Our feature story is up next.
You know a fisher who braves the seas every day, bringing home a catch that feeds our communities? Nominate them now for the Anchor Awards, a night dedicated to celebrating the unsung heroes of our waters. On November 16th at the Bahamas Resort, we're shining a spotlight on those who make waves, both big and small. Visit the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources Facebook page and click on the link provided to submit your nomination. Let's give our fishers the recognition they deserve. Anchor Awards 2024.
Come celebrate the Pay Fast, Live Digital campaign. Get ready to learn all about digital payments and embrace the future of finance. Ditch the old and say hello to new, faster, and safer ways to pay. So join us, check in with your personal bank, credit union, or digital wallet provider to learn everything you need to know about going digital. To learn more, visit us online at livedigitalbahamas.com and on social media. The future of pay is digital.
Marco's, the pizza that's perfect for every party, every moment, and every occasion.
Peace begins with me. In a world full of noise, I close my eyes. I'll be the calm in a raging storm. Choosing love in every word, in every deed.
Is the Little Caesars
stuffed crust pizza. Get more pizza for less money. Only $12. It's a whole new level of pizza with cheese stuffed crust so spectacular that there's nothing left.
Pizza.
A delicious pepperoni pizza with the crust stuffed with lots of cheese and brushed with butter and garlic flavor and sprinkled with Parmesan cheese. Hot and ready Thursday to Saturday between 4 and 8 for only $12. Simply irresistible. And only at...
And that does it for the National Report, but stay close. The Bahamas Tonight continues with Access Now.